Hi, I'm Serena, founder of TriniGourmet, one of the longest running Caribbean food blogs out there on the internet. And in 2006, when I founded TriniGourmet, I founded it for two reasons. One, I was very inspired by the popular blog at the time, Julie and Julia, which got turned into a movie. And similar to, Julie, I didn't really cook. And I thought, wow, it would be really cool to do this from a Trinidad perspective. I didn't really expect, I wasn't really doing it for a public per se, but I wanted to learn how to cook. And I thought, let me try and cook my way through the Naparima cookbook and learn my food and my culture along the way and share my findings with others. And the second motivation was wanting to elevate the presentation of our cuisine, and the emphasis here is on the word cuisine. I found that a lot of the websites at the time had a very utilitarian approach to how they presented food, and it was one that didn't resonate with me or with my own experience. And it was perfectly fine, nothing's wrong with that, it's better than no representation at all. But I thought, when I was looking at the food bloggers from other countries, that we could model in terms of seeing our food as cuisine, as something that wasn't just something to wolf down to get through the day. That was something I was loving, and it was prepared, and it was intrinsically beautiful, and it was going to be presented in a way that highlighted that beauty. And so again, through my love of fashion and photography at the time, I thought, oh, let me try and take better photographs. That's all. Let me just try and take better photographs and present it in a more formal setting, leaning towards formality, because it's something that people have brought up in the past, both in good and negative ways. To understand that, you have to understand my upbringing. I had a mother who was part of the diplomatic service, Jamaican, and she was very formal, still is, and she has very clear-cut views on what proper entertaining is. So I grew up with very lavish dinners, place settings, cutlery, very important to have the right forks, the right knives, the right spoons, crystalware, the right glass shapes for the different beverages, and all of these things. And that might sound weird if it's not something that you came up with, but for me it was just second nature, and so that would inform the approach of my blog and my site. And on top of that, she also had a love of adventure, of where cooking was concerned. She was very adventurous, so I grew up with all her scrapbooks that were filled, overflowing with recipes from around the world. And for her, it was like a mini vacation, and it became, the same for me. For me, cooking recipes from around the world is a way of tiptoeing into other countries' point of view, the point of view of their population, because often you'll treat ingredients in ways that you don't when you're cooking in your local way. And that has added, I think, and will add to any home cook, a versatility that will not otherwise be there. Because if you only have one reference point, if you don't have all the ingredients that you need for a particular recipe, sometimes you can't think, what should I do next? Whereas if you have a wide repertoire from around the world, it's usually not a problem as much as if you only have one reference point. That's why a lot of the times when you're watching cooking shows and cooking competitions, people who have a very narrow experience with ingredients and with cooking, they often get tripped up in the challenges because they're very good at what they can cook, and what they can cook they can do flawlessly, but take them out of that box or out of that comfort zone, and you see them floundering. And so that's why I keep saying, break out of your comfort zone. It's not just an existential thing, it applies to the kitchen as well. And so a lot of the times people ask me, why do I present international recipes on TriniGourmet? They'll say, this isn't Trinidadian. And well, that's where the gourmet came in. The gourmet was about having a different point of view. It was about having a different approach to presentation, and it was also about not just being inward, it was also about being outward. So to me, the gourmet in TriniGourmet is that, yes, I'm Trini and I'm cooking Trini, but I'm also gourmet, and I'm going to explore the world as a Trini from my point of view. And if you go on the BBC website or you go on Food Network, I mean, they're respectively British and American sites, but they also feature recipes from around the world. So it makes no sense being myopic where food is concerned. Trinidad itself, I mean, we are always boasting that every creed and race, all of that. We are a country made up of multitudes. My own family background is one of multitudes, and so it's very hard for me to really take on talk that this is not us or that is not us. Like, yes, there's the traditional sense of us, but at the same time, we are people who are resilient and who are open and who are constantly receiving new influences through the media, through migration, and through our own travels. So it's very important to me that that is also reflected on the site, that it's a site that's inclusive, even though I think it's pretty clear that it's a Trini site. So from my love of entertaining, which I gained from my mother, and through my love of culinary exploration and adventure, which again I got from my mother, I realized now, looking back, it wasn't intentional at the time, but I realized that there are three pillars to TriniGourmet, and one is presentation. Mom always says you eat with your eyes first. So to me, the plate and the dish and the bowl and the pot should look gorgeous. The second one is adventure. Don't just stay stuck in your own box and use Trini as the reason why you do that. It's very important, I think, to find different ways to approach ingredients, especially ingredients you don't like. I always challenge myself to find ways to prepare ingredients that I don't like, and I often can do that by exploring the foods of other cultures. And the last one is local, and that's where the Trini part really pops in. So utilizing local ingredients, local dishes, local approaches towards food and food culture, and local food professionals. So when you combine the three, presentation, adventure, and local, that's TriniGourmet.